Every morning, I silently sit at the feet of my mother, promised heaven, eat dried fruits and mixed nuts and watch the sunset, count her heartbeat every second that passes. My mother's breath sits heavy on her lungs and I pray to God. My mother used to always say, girls are born to be gentle. My mother's gentleness was strength, and I've seen her fight the holiest wars. Between her ribs and her lips she spoke half God and half sorrow, and every night her knees clasped to the ground, uttering, Rabbi inni dhalamtu nafsi faghfir li. Ya Allah, you are the forgiver of all sins. Women who look like me have learned that their body is an apology. My mother used to say, I hope one day you'll find the strength to forgive me, ya binti. I think of my sister's circumcision, and my cousins, how they feel like butterflies with broken wings, not human from the waist down, and when I was 5, how I escaped the cutting. Jumping over concrete walls like teenage civilians escaping the Sudanese army on a Wednesday afternoon, jumping the fences of their classrooms, tear gases in the air, knocking the adolescence out of them. And I just stood there, thinking of my father as his image begins to gradually fade away. My mother tells me this. Everything I know about how to be a woman I have learned from my mother. My mother used to say, make sure a hot meal is ready on the table, even if your husband doesn't return home, and tuck your disappointments under your tongue, and learn to accept apologies you've never received, and when you place your head on the pillow at night, don't count your heartbeat. You stay quiet. Find the urgency in silence. My mother used to say red isn't your color. She tells me don't speak until you are spoken to, and change the bedroom sheets every week, and scrub the toilet every Friday, and brush your hair before you answer the door, and always allow men to eat first on the dinner table, and don't ever question why. This is how you learn to be a woman. This is what my mother has taught me. You stay quiet. You don't speak. And I haven't talked to my body in days. My mother used to say, Ana bahibbik ya binti, and I love you too, ya ummi. Mother, I watch her wrap grape leaves and sew buttons and walk miles to work and birth a 5th child, and through it all, I've never seen you complain. Like the women in my country that harbor the pain of their abusive husbands and their circumcised daughters and their sons, who are only a resemblance of their fathers, the women who are our country, and too broken. When my daughter asks what it means to be a woman, I will think of my mother, how she could never be wrong, how she never questioned her mother, the one with the dark hair and the heavy eyelids and the soft nutmeg body in borrowed language, the woman of a country that is too broken. When my daughter asks what it means to be a woman, I will question everything I have learned from my mother. I will tell her about her religion, about Islam, and how Prophet Muhammad was the best to all women, and how men in her country are ungrateful. I will tell her being a woman means to lay the heavy heart nearest to God, and a man must seek him in order to find her. A man that demands any other is not a man of God. I will tell my daughter a woman's body is not an apology, to speak even when she's not spoken to stand up for those who are silent. I will teach her about Khadija, Aisha, Fatima, and all the Muslim women that came before them. They are the successors of this religion, 1 billion strong. I will tell my daughter oppression and equality in Muslim countries do not represent God, how Muslim men have replaced religion with arrogance, that God will never permit violence against a woman's body. I will tell her that red is her color. She can have a hot meal ready on the table when her husband gets home, only if she wants to. And when she places her head on the pillow at night, to never apologize for the way her heart beats, to never be afraid of loving your own body. Talk to your body every night. Tell it it's beautiful. You deserve all the love in the world love inside your womb. I will tell her. and remind her of the gentleness and sensitivity of Islam. In societies that predominantly value sons, Prophet Muhammad taught men to raise daughters to be tougher, that heaven lies under the feet of your mother. I will tell her not to stay silent. Women are not meant to be quiet. Women are not meant to hide their disappointments when my daughter asks what it means to be a woman. I will tell her women are more than religion. They are the temple, church, mosque of worship. Their body is the home you grew up in. They are the sun that burns itself out to give life to the universe. The moon reflects the life of the sun. The world without sun deprives itself. But most importantly, I will teach my son to be the moon reflecting the life of the universe. Teach my son to be a man who silently sits at the feet of his mother every morning